Oh, we're doing live stream. Oh, I don't think we're allowed to do music during live stream.
Alexa, stop.
Oh, that could get us put like in Facebook jail. You know, playing music that I didn't write. Anyway, this is another rousing rendition of things that make you go boom. Hello, everyone. My name's Jim, and this week I've spent a couple of weeks now thinking of the topic and how I want to tackle it for this particular live stream. After the last one, which by the way, if you tuned into the last live stream, thank you so much. Had tons of comments, both on the Facebook page as well as in private comments, and people text messaging me. So it was fantastic, and I appreciate it. It gives me a reason to keep doing these live streams. Anyway, for those of you who don't know me and you're brand new here, my name is Jim Reineke. I am an action coach with ActionCOACH Northwest in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, Spokane Valley, Washington. And during this live stream, a couple times a month, I want to jump in here and tackle issues and questions that people are bringing to me. And so for the live stream this week, it was prompted from the last live stream and from a good friend, Anna Marie, who is a franchise owner, multiple franchise owner of Nothing Bundt Cakes. She has some locations in California, but she also has one here in the Spokane area on South Hill. So go get them. They're good. No, they're really good. Trust me on this. I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so this week's question is stemming from some comments that Anna Marie had made, and so I was inspired by them. And given I like to be optimistic. We're coming out of COVID, and businesses are starting to open up and more every week. But there's a huge staffing issue across the board. Debbie, my bride, and I went to one of the big box stores over the weekend, and for the first time ever at this store or anywhere in its chain did I see someone, a management person, out, almost in clown-like manner without being dressed like a clown, trying to get people to sign up to work for them. They had converted part of the store, a room at the store, into basically a hiring office. And as people were coming into the store, boy, she was out there as animated as she could be, as happy and as excited as she could be to try to entice people to go in and apply for a job. And she was saying, we're starting at $15 an hour, which, there are some people doing that already, but this is a national chain who's not at that point. But that told me how important it is to find and retain really good employees. And so this question from Anna Marie, again, has been resonating with me for a couple of weeks, and I wanted to touch on that. And there are basically three areas that I think we can tackle. Part of it is staying motivated as the business owner, whether you run a small business or a large business. If you have employees, staying motivated while dealing with staffing issues. How do you do that? This manager that we saw over the weekend does not own this big box store, but has ownership in it. It's her job to make sure that the hours are covered when they're open. And in dealing with that on a much smaller level, taking it down to whether you're a mom and pop shop with 1 or 2 employees, maybe a coffee shop with half a dozen employees, or even a little bigger. Let's say you have 20 or 30 employees. How do you as the owner stay motivated? And at the most elemental level, I would say let's take a look at your mission for your business, your mission for being there. Boiling it down even further, what is your why for your business? Why do you do what you do? And is that very clear in your head? And if it is, have you communicated that with the employees that you have and with those who you're hoping to attract? It's one thing to say, okay, I run a small business and my mission is to make 400 widgets a day. and sell 390 of those a day. Okay, that's your mission for maybe your business. Those are reasons why you want to make money. But, boil that down even further. What is your why for that? Are you doing it simply for the money? And if so, okay, I'm going to argue that you are going to have a more difficult time in keeping and retaining good employees. If you're strictly in it for the money, you should not expect to hire anyone who's not going to be simply in it for the money as well. It's plain and simple. And if during these times, if they're getting paid more to stay at home than they are to come in and work, and you're only in it for the money, and so are they, it's a no-brainer for them. They're gonna just stay home. So define that mission, define that why you want to do what you do, and if you're in it for more than that, more than the money, let your employees know that. Hey, guys, here's my mission here. Let's make it our mission. You want to get buy-in from them so that they are taking an ownership type of role, an ownership type of responsibility as well. And once you do that, you're going to find it easier to get to kind of the second point, that is seeing the bigger picture. How do you get employees to see the bigger picture? Not just focusing on the now, but striving for the future. You need to get buy-in on that as well. So that's going to be kind of your vision. What is your ultimate vision for your company, for the employees, for the type of people that you want to attract? Define that very clearly. And gosh, I don't want to get into a preaching moment here, but as many of you who have known me for a while, you understand and you know that I am driven by a phrase that Theodore Roosevelt was coined with saying, forever ago, even before I was born, and I'm getting old. But that is, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Think about that. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. All right? So if you are in agreement with that even a little bit, you believe it even slightly, then adopt that type of phrase when you're coming up with that mission, and especially with your vision as well, and the third point that we'll talk about in a moment. Because when you're driving your business from that angle, from that point of view, then the more that you're able to get your business out there to help others, the more you'll get in return. It's pretty simple, and it's one of the most difficult concepts to grasp and to understand as well. Simply because, we're in business because we want to make money. I mean, we have to in order to sustain our families, right? To sustain the business, to sustain the employees that we're trying to bring on and to keep as well. So those are two areas. Now, the mentality of today's worker. Oh my goodness. How often are you hearing from employers, from employees about the mentality? And I touched on it a little bit ago, that if you're only in this business for the money, then you're going to attract people who are the same. But how do we as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as leaders, as difference makers, how do we affect the mentality of today's worker? The big question. And for that, I want to bring in a third point, and that is the culture of your business. And I've tweaked on a couple little points of it along the way so far during this live stream, but what is the culture of your business? What is it that drives you to want to make a difference with your product, with your service, with your widget, with your whatever it is you have and that you're selling, and you want to get out there? Why is it, and what is it that is going to attract the right customer for you? Let's define that. The right customer for you. And then what is it that's going to drive the right employee for you? Because let's be very optimistic here. You're not in it just for the money. You love what you do. You have a passion for what you do. You love the way it makes other people feel when they are experiencing your widget or your bundt cake, your whatever it is, your service. You love how it makes them feel, And that's how you create raving fans. That's what's going to keep them coming back. Now, take that and define that into maybe 2 or 3 bullet points, 5 bullet points of why that's important to you. And then when you start seeking the people who align with you on that, you're going to start finding the people who are going to look more towards the future goals, not just the here and now. You're going to start finding those people who are doing it more than just for money. And a really great example, one of my favorite coffee shops is a little locally owned place here in Spokane Valley. It's called The Garden. Yes, this is for you, CJ. CJ and I did a podcast not too long ago, and she was fantastic. But this issue of the employment really resonates with me after talking with CJ, because she started her business, her one-stand coffee store, the year before COVID hit, so in 2019. Less than a year into her business, the world exploded. COVID happened. Everything got shut down. She had a very limited budget on an operation. She had very limited budget for staffing. And now, as she's approaching her 2-year anniversary, having survived COVID and going in there and seeing the employees that she has, I don't know that she lost any employees. They stuck with her. And it's not because they're in it for the money. I mean, let's face it, these lovely people who are taking orders that we make so convoluted that we have to have a menu board telling us that we need a skinny latte, vanilla mocha, no styrofoam, whatever. That takes a lot of patience, and they're not doing it for the money, but they're doing it because they enjoy helping people. Okay, I digress. Going back in there now and seeing that she still has the same employees who were amazing before, it's because they bought into her culture. They bought into the idea of we're here to serve, not to be served. And I will argue with anyone who says, oh, well, it's just a millennial attitude. No, it's not. No, it's not. Millennials, yeah, they are different than us Xers, and certainly different than the boomers who came before me. But they will grasp and they will take on causes. They will do anything and everything they can to promote humanity. I believe that they believe that more than even I did as a Gen Xer. And that's who these employees are. So if you have a business that is depending on the millennials to be your employees, to be your staff, and you're not finding anyone who you believe is a good fit, I would say take a look at your mission, take a look at your vision, take a look at the culture that you're trying to build with them. And it could be that it's not their problem, it could be your problem in attracting the wrong people. So if you're not finding the right fish, you're fishing the wrong pond, or you're using the wrong bait. So you might need to take a look at switching up where you're fishing or the kind of bait you're using, and really amp up your efforts in looking for the right people. Now, it's going to create work for you. You may not be accustomed to it, but you can do it. I have faith in you. All right, so I think I've taken that horse to the water and I've beat it long enough. So if any of you do have questions, please post them down below, and after the live stream, I will get to those. I'll go through them and I will answer them either right here in the live stream thread, or I'll reach out to you. Likewise, it's a two-way street, friends. You can reach out to me as well. Send a private message to me. I would be remiss if I did not mention that coming up on June the 4th, I'm going to be hosting with 2 of the other coaches here in my office something that we call Growth Club. It happens once a quarter. It is normally for our clients where their benefit, they come in and it's a half-day workshop of planning the next 90 days, putting actionable steps in place with their goals so that they can see growth over the next 90 days. That's coming up June the 4th. Now, if you're not a client, there's a nominal fee of only $99 for that. However, you're the first to hear it live right here. I do have some business grants that I'm going to be giving out, 5 of them. And if you're interested, then let me know. and I will get you hooked up with that. So send a private message to me on that. And in the meantime, live long and prosper, nanu, nanu, all that good stuff. And we'll see you the next time. Thanks for tuning in.